Hey gang, this is Simba and welcome back to another episode of the Lions Den Digest, where we break down some of the market moving news. Now today we have the Ethereum Pectra upgrade, the USD1 airdrop, the FTX Netflix series, and the new Hampshire Bitcoin reserve, which I'm very excited to kind of break down. Now to kick it off, Ethereum's Pectra upgrade goes live. Finally, some good news on Ethereum. Now Ethereum dropped its biggest upgrade since the 2022 merge, activating the Pectra hard fork right at 6:05 a.m. EST. With Ethereum improvement proposals EIPs, Pectra boosts its user experience, right? A better user experience, validator efficiency, and layer 2 scalability. Now, I have some three key highlights to really pay attention to, right? And the first one being EIP 7702, which enables account abstraction, allowing wallets to act like smart contracts. Now, expect gas-free dApp interactions, bundled transactions, and social recovery for lost keys. I think this is great, especially the social recovery for lost key aspect. As newbies get into this space, most of them do not save their private keys, right? And they end up losing their wallet and their funds. Now, to have some kind of recovery, especially linked to your social, I think that's going to be great for newbies, right? It takes away that pain. Now, the second highlight is really now EIP 7251 raises validator balance caps from 32 ETH to 2048 ETH, simplifying staking for large operators, but sparking centralization concerns. Now, this is a huge gap, right? 32 ETH is about $56,000, and 2,400 ETH is about, a couple $1,000,000, right? Now, this is a huge gap. So this just reduces the amount of people that can have validators and really sparking some centralization concerns around there, even though it might make the decision process a little bit more streamlined, right? Now, the third one is really EIP 7691, which doubles block throughput for layer 2 rollups, right? Potentially slashing fees and supercharging dApps on Arbitrum and Optimism, which are two of the biggest layer 2s for the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, Pectra could drive the ETH adoption by making DeFi and layer 2 solutions cheaper and more user-friendly. This is one of the biggest pain point and hurdle for Ethereum, right? Is those expensive gas fees, especially if the chain is getting a lot of transactions, right? You can easily start to pay 30, 40. At some point, people were paying up to $300 and plus just to send a transaction, right? And it's good to see them kind of going towards resolving that issue, because I can't see Ethereum really succeeding as long as those transaction fees are that expensive. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? However, centralization risks from EIP 7251 might spook some purists. ETH, right, is up 2.86 from today from that upgrade, but watch for a potential breakout if layer 2 activity really starts to spike as these integrations really start rolling out from the rest of the other dApps and layer 2s. Now, the second story and highlight of the day is World Liberty Financial's USD1 airdrop vote and stable yield. Now, World Liberty Financial, which is Wolf, they have their own token, is backed by the Trump family, which is a DeFi platform, is pushing its USD1 stablecoin with a governance vote for an airdrop to WIF token holders. Now, with 99.97% voting yes, I mean, who wouldn't vote for an airdrop, right? It's basically free money. The airdrop is likely imminent. USD1's market cap now soared from 128 million to 2 billion just in a matter of days, right? Yeah, USD airdrop, right? Absolutely. And this is really fueled by real world asset backing. Now, this stablecoin is going to be backed by US bonds and cash equivalents, which is phenomenal, which is great, right? Plus integration with ListaDAO on BNB chain, Binance chain, really unlocks stable yield farming for the USD1 holders. Now, USD1's rapid growth and DeFi utility could challenge established stablecoins like USDT and USDC, especially with the political backing from Trump and the Trump family. But scrutiny over Wilf's foreign investor ties really add risks. Now, stable yield farming is a hot trend, so expect DeFi degens to really start to pile into this one. Juicy yields, juicy airdrops. Who would say no to this? So this is phenomenal. This is great to see. If you have been invested, you are an investor of World Liberty Financial, congratulations. Expect that airdrop. Expect those free USD dollars in your wallet. Now, a third story for the day, which this one is actually fun and I'm kind of looking forward to it, is Netflix to dramatize FTX collapse in this new series. Now, Netflix is reportedly cooking up a series on the 2022 FTX collapse. If you were in the crypto market and industry in 2022 and you witnessed the FTX collapse, it was absolutely brutal, right? This really initiated a brutal, almost bear market, right? It was terrible. If you held any assets in there, I held assets in FTX, right? And just to see this play and go live real time was devastating. FTX completely collapsed, right? And Sam Bankman-Fried, we know his destiny. He's locked up in jail right now, right? But anyways, with that said, pain, man, pain. It hurts. It hurts so much. But to be fair, FTX was not the only one. The only exchange that collapsed during that time, right? There were others as well, but FTX was definitely the biggest one. Insane. But with Julia Garner from Ozark, another popular Netflix series, is in talks to play Carolyn Ellison, and even Peters from Dahmer is really eyed for the Sam Bankman-Fried role. And Oscar winner Graham Moore may write the script with a love story framing the plot. You know, I knew about the whole FTX collapse and Sam Bankman-Fried, but you know, this whole love story between Carolyn Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be very interesting to get a little insight on this. Wow, man. Okay, you know what? I'm over it. But anyways, with that said, no contracts have been signed yet, so it's early days. But yeah, a Netflix series could really thrust crypto into the mainstream spotlight with this movie. I think it's gonna be, if it comes out, it's gonna be an epic movie. But it risks sensationalizing the FTX fraud, right? If done well, it might educate normies on crypto's pitfalls, and this pitfall is really, you know, one of the biggest lessons anybody learns when you get into the crypto industry is not your keys, not your crypto, right? All these tokens that are held in exchanges, you don't truly own them, right? You do not truly own them. And when they do file for bankruptcy and collapse, they take your funds along with you. And I've experienced that myself, right? Just doing some dumb things. And I'll tell you what, I have a ledger, I have a cold wallet. I'm not going to make that mistake again. But, you know, with that, watch for sentimental shifts in retail investor confidence as hype builds really for this Netflix film, right? Now, for the last final story of the day, this one I think is probably the best one. I think it's phenomenal news. New Hampshire makes history with the Bitcoin reserve law. Now, New Hampshire became the first U.S. states to enact a Bitcoin reserve bill, which was the HB 302, and it was signed by Governor Kelly on May 6th, so this was just yesterday. The law allows the state treasury to allocate up to 5% of funds to Bitcoin, which is really the only crypto with over a $500 billion market cap. Now, assets will be held in U.S. regulated custody. Phenomenal. Meanwhile, Florida and Arizona shelved similar bills, with Arizona's governor vetoing one as untested. Can you imagine this? Florida and Arizona chose poor. I think they chose poor by not enacting this law, right? We see the trend. Bitcoin is the future, right? And a state like New Hampshire really taking itself and really being the first one, I think they're going to do phenomenal. This is beautiful to see. This makes me want to pack up my bags and move to New Hampshire, to be quite honest with you. But some insights on this: New Hampshire's move really legitimizes Bitcoin as a reserve asset, potentially sparking a domino effect across states, right? Now, BTC climbed to 97,000 intraday, though the US-China tariff news likely played a role. But if other states follow, institutional demand could send Bitcoin parabolic, absolutely parabolic. Now, once we start to see more states, which I think they will, especially if New Hampshire does this right and really benefits, we're going to start seeing more states have similar laws, right, making Bitcoin the reserve currency. And once we see a couple of states, I do believe that the US as a country will really start to push. They're already pushing already to have a national Bitcoin reserve, right? This is something Trump has been saying and a lot of lawmakers have been talking about. And I think this is the trend. We're starting to see this. First comes the states, and then comes a national Bitcoin reserve. But guys, with that said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay bullish. If you like this content, please give me a like and a follow, and please leave a comment below. With that said, much love to you guys. Bye-bye.